Assalamualaikum. How are you, dear learner? I hope you are fine. I am also fine. Look at the board. What I have written there. I have written sentence. And you know, in my previous class, I have learned sentence and its negative sentence. Today I will discuss on interrogative and imperative sentence. Interrogative and imperative sentence. At first, we will see interrogative sentence. Dear learner, I have already said that as it is English class, I would like to speak in English, but I also speak in Bangla for your better understanding. Look at the board. Interrogative sentence. Prashnabodak bakya. A sentence that asks a question is called interrogative sentence. Once again, see, a sentence that asks a question is called interrogative sentence. That means একটি সেন্টেন্স দিয়ে যখন কোনো প্রশ্ন জিজ্ঞেস করা হয়, সেই সেন্টেন্সটি বা সেই বাক্যটি হচ্ছে প্রশ্নবোধক বাক্য বা ইন্টারোগেটিভ সেন্টেন্স বলে। As for example, what is your name? Look, what is your name? This sentence asks you a question. What is your name? Next, look, do you read in class 5? Do you read in class 5? This sentence also asks a question. Now we know the definition of interrogative sentence and its example. Later we will discuss elaborately interrogative sentence. How can we identify interrogative sentence? But now we will discuss on imperative sentence. What is imperative sentence? Imperative sentence is a sentence which expresses order, request, advice, command or proposal is called an imperative sentence. That means যেই সেন্টেন্স দিয়ে কোনো আদেশ, অনুরোধ, উপদেশ, কোনো প্রস্তাব প্রকাশ করা হয়, সেই সেন্টেন্সকে ইম্পারেটিভ সেন্টেন্স বলে। Look, dear learner, some example I have written there. Do your homework. Do your home task. তোমার বাড়ির কাজটা করো। Do your home task. Never tell a lie. কখনো মিথ্যা বলিও না। Please give me your pen. অনুগ্রহ করে তোমার কলমটা আমাকে দাও। These are imperative sentence. Dear learner, now we will see how can we identify this sentence. What is interrogative sentence and what is imperative sentence. Dear learner, look at the word. How can we identify interrogative sentence? At first, we will see how can we identify interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence ask a question. Always remember that an interrogative sentence always ask questions. It begins with auxiliary verb or WS question word. WS question word যেগুলো আমরা আগে শিখেছিলাম, এই WS question ওয়ার্ডগুলোকে আবার রিলেটিভ pronoun বলা হয়. Ask questions begin with auxiliary verb or WS question word, and then there is a question mark at the end of the sentence. At the end of the sentence. That means these are the identification of an interrogative sentence. You remember the three and you can identify interrogative sentence. Here জিনিসটা আমি আরো এভাবে ক্লিয়ার করতে পারি যে আজকে কোশ্চেন বিগিন উইথ কিভাবে শুরু হবে, যেমন who are you? Are you a student? Look, dear learners, who is a WS question word. Who, this interrogative sentence begins with who, then auxiliary verb, then you, object. Are you a student? Sorry. You always remember interrogative sentence এর পরে কোশ্চেন মার্কটা বসবে, না হলে সেন্টেন্সটা ভুল হয়ে যাবে. ওকে, dear learner, now we will know how can we identify an imperative sentence. An imperative sentence begins with verb. Always, dear learners, we see that a sentence begins with subject, but here in this sentence, imperative sentence always begins with verb. Begins with verb. Verb দিয়ে শুরু হয়. Next, see, sometimes it begins with never, the word. Never দিয়েও এটা কখনো কখনো শুরু হয়. Sometimes it begins with please, let, etc. And then see, dear learners, at the end of the sentence there is always a full stop. At the end of this sentence there is always full stop. One thing I want to say here, that sometimes only one verb makes a complete sentence, and this is an this is imperative sentence. Okay, dear learner, you remember the identification, and I think you will identify the sentence imperative interrogative sentence. Dear learners, I have written here some sentences. You have to identify them. Is it an interrogative sentence or imperative sentence? Please speak. Number 1. How old are you? Say, what type of sentence is this one? Look, it begins with WH question word, and at the end of the sentence there is a question mark. So it is an interrogative sentence. Dear learner, you will write the sentence and the name of sentence beside it. Then look, number 2, speak to me. আমার সঙ্গে কথা বলো। That means বা সেন্টেন্সটা শুরু হয়েছে কি দিয়ে? স্পিক মানে কথা বলা, একটা ভার্ব দিয়ে শুরু হয়েছে, এবং at the end of the sentence you notice here is a full stop, so it's a imperative sentence. Next, number 3, don't waste your time. তোমার সময় নষ্ট করো না। Look, dear learners, this sentence also begin with verb, and at the end we see full stop, and here is an advice for you. So we can say, and obviously it's an imperative sentence. Do you have any question? I think there is no any question. 10C 4, let me do the work. Let me do the work. Let দিয়ে শুরু হয়েছে, দেখো let দিয়ে সেন্টেন্সটা শুরু হয়েছে, এবং আমি I have already said that sometimes imperative sentence begin with let, so it's an imperative sentence. Then see, please give me a glass of water. Please give me a glass of water. Please দিয়ে শুরু হয়েছে, এবং এখানে this sentence expresses request প্রকাশ পেয়েছে, so it's an imperative sentence. Next, see, is Mamun a student? Is Mamun a student? মামুন কি একজন ছাত্র? Look, this sentence asks a question. So, and there is a question mark, and it begins with auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb. Do you remember auxiliary verb? In my previous 2 classes, I have discussed about auxiliary verb. This is auxiliary verb. That means this sentence begins with auxiliary verb is, and there is a question mark, and this sentence asks a question, so we can call it an interrogative sentence. See next, do you learn your tasks? তোমরা কি তোমাদের কাজ শিখেছো? This sentence also asks a questions, and it's also begin with auxiliary verb. So in this way, I think at home you will try to identify the sentences at first. Then you try to rearrange the words to make sentence. So dear learners, you write sentences and identify them. And now I give you some homework. Dear learners, this sentence, at first read the sentences and then write what type of sentence are they. Write at your home.